see that Julie Todd has put up her stuff in her digital backpack up top. I think that's really cool. I love Julie. Very, very wonderful, wonderful.
To ask Gandalf, and because Gandalf is the great gray wizard, who better to ask? And he's got an AI superpower. So pretty much what I was trying to do is take the theme. Okay, I'll start at the basic actually. One step back. The basic point of the app is an astrology reading, like dream interpretation, tarot card reading, uh, Chinese zodiac sign, uh, that type of stuff with AI incorporated in the back end. And originally, it had some basic SVGs and a wizard picture that was kind of just a little cartoony. And so it inspired me. And I've been watching that new Lord of the Rings TV show, and I was like, well, let's do Gandalf, you know? And so I thought, you know, it can kind of go along the side, like it's parallel themes with astrology reading stuff and wizard stuff. So I figured I'll just make everything changed over to like wizard and Lord of the Rings themed. And yeah, that's the way I'm gonna take it. And I have just a simple logo that I made. I kept a spiral sign. There was some moving images from last week, if you weren't here, on the front title page or landing page. And I took the spinning clock in the background and I changed it to the Eye of Sauron up in the sky. And then I got 3 eagles bouncing, flying straight at you in the mountains, which I think is pretty cool. And it's all pixel art, staying on theme. Currently, I am messing around with the bottom menu, and I was editing mostly after those images, some of the JSONs, and specifically in the lang file, just changing some wording, getting rid of Oracle, renaming the AI specifically to Gandalf, and changing like Chinese uh, Chinese zodiac to like star selection and stuff like that, just to get it off the base theme, and just have it changed. There's still a few images that I'm changing, but it's all good. I know where to change them now, and honestly, this is pretty cool how uh, compact like this big of an app is, and it's so simple once you like get the hang of it and know where everything is, just to go back and forth and not to get like lost in the code. But yeah, I'm excited to see what everybody else has done. So if you completed your homework, please, please, please request to speak. We're going to be showing people's homework on stream as soon as it's up. I'll pass the mic over to Sharon. Sharon, what was your theme for your changes?
You scared me because you said we were supposed to change everything. I did not. I just changed the top and I changed all the prompts. So I changed all the system prompts that it just matches the theme. And yeah, we had a lot of fun. I was working with Kirk on that because I do believe that if you work together, you just get things done. And it was very focused. So we were both working together on our things, and we came up with the idea to have an AI oracle. So, you know, a lot of people are kind of fearful, maybe. They're not so educated on AI. They don't know where it's going to go with their work. So yeah, we did some fun stuff. We have those 21, those tarot cards, for example, represent now 21 leaders in the AI sphere. And yeah, they basically, you know, the AI picks up their whole knowledge base and everything they are and what they can do. And then when you pick 3 cards, it just merges them together. And then you can kind of get, it's a little bit of a predictive thing, what will happen in the future if these 3 would come together and do something. We did a lot of fun stuff. So we changed all the system prompts. I changed the top, but I have to change a couple more images. But the meat and potatoes is basically done with the app. And it's very exciting. It's such a cool application, Cash. And it's so cool what you did too. I would love to see yours on stream also. That would be really cool.
Sharon, it's interesting. I just want to preface the project, yes, started with Oracle cards, right? Um, it started with like the idea of tarot or fortune telling, that kind of thing. But when you think about the journey it was taking, this isn't necessarily about tarot cards. It could be affirmation cards, it could be anything. But when you take a persona or an arcane type, archetype or whatnot, you could take colors, you could take personality types, you could take whatever. But what you're doing is you're taking this group of things and then modifying them. And then when you come back, and when Sharon was talking about assuming the different personalities of AI type folks, right? You really are assembling your own Avengers team. And so when you think through this entire project, who would you want to talk to? One of the party games that we play, back in the day, analog style, is who are the 12 people you'd bring to dinner, to a dinner party from the past? And it used to be a question that we would ask people when we would hire them. Who are your top 3 people that you'd want to talk to from the beginning of time to the end? You have the ability to set the table and have those people, and then have those people or entities, the bulk of their information, if they've written a bunch of stories or if they've created a bunch of films. Let's say you're a filmmaker, right? What are the 12 best filmmakers that you know of? What would it take to have all of those personas sitting at a table, and you just, pulling a couple cards and creating alongside these, creations? It's no different than any of your oracle cards. And so the reason why Ross kind of chose that product, or project, I should say, is simply because it's very accessible. It's like you're picking 3 cards from a deck, and then you're going to guide through the rest of your day. A lot of affirmation cards or oracle cards are like that, and they're very popular if you go to Barnes and Noble. So it is something that's off the top of your head. So I do know that we had a lot of folks last week very uncomfortable with the idea of oracle cards, which kind of took me off guard, but I understand why. And so what I want to tell you is, think about it as a dinner table. Think about the personalities. I would love to have dinner with Gandalf. And fictional characters are fun because they do have an archetype type persona. When you think of all of the wonderful fiction that you've ever read, whether it's Narnia or Harry Potter, deep down secretly you've got some personality types that work their way into certain people. We have, chaotic neutral, we have chaotic, whatever. We have our Lokis, and then we have our Gandalfs. And I just wanted to kind of point out that there are lots of use cases. And so think outside of the conventional way one person would use that, and then push it out and think to yourself, who would I have if I could create my dream team, my Avengers team for my business? Maybe your superpower is Excel spreadsheets, right? You should be the chief grand poobah of all of your, spreadsheets and finance, right? But you still need, an executive. You still need other people to kind of fill those roles. So think about this project through that prism, that, you've got some really wonderful creative ideas coming through the homework. How would you modify that for yourself? I think that Ross is probably ready now. So, Ross, did you hear at least a little bit of what Cash Money Kev and Gandalf and all of his wonderful critters?
Yeah, I
Isn't
did.
that cool?
I'm streaming it. You guys can see it.
Excellent. Is it up top? Yes, it is. Thank you for doing that. That is really, really cool, actually. If you are looking up in the nest, that's freaking cool. Cash Money, you win. I gotta send you stuff.
All of the pictures were generated with Pixio too, by the way. I forgot to mention that earlier. So like the Gandalf, everything is just generated with pixel art uh, in the simple in brackets in the SD3. I used SD3. I was just double check 3.5 to be exact. Stable Diffusion 3.5. And then I used like a simple landscape stuff for the background. Overlaid it and had the layers set up in Canva. And then I also was going to upload a font, and then I was slowly learning about that and kind of was going to go back around to that because I was going to change the font to be like Lord of the Rings font specifically. And then you need like a JSON file, and to get some of the text files set up, and I was in the middle of doing that. But at the same time, I was going into the app CSS and moving around uh, the uh, the birds and the Sauron eye, and just like getting used to that. It was actually really fun because I've never gone this deep really with HTML, where it's like layered, and it's like I don't know how to describe it. It's just layers pretty much. It was super cool to work with. I know Ross can probably put it in better terms than me because I'm more new with all this with working with PHP. I've worked with HTML minimally in the past, but this is just really cool to work with. And I'm slowly getting everything fixed up properly. But yeah, I'm excited to see everybody else's. So please, please, if you got any more examples, be sure to join the stage and join on the stream as well. What do you
Catch
think?
money. I wanted to ask you a question. What was the hardest part for you? I mean, I was looking at the background, even seeing like, obviously the giant eagles in the background and things like that. But what was your workflow process when you were thinking it through? Like, because for me, when I was thinking of the things that I wanted to do right away, I actually had to kind of marinate on all of the personality or, the cards first and then, or the tiles. And then, because I'm looking at your project and it's so complete and awesome. And then I thought to myself, how did you go about it? What did you do first? And then second? And then what gave you the most trouble? And I'm going to ask Sharon the same thing because I've watched these kind of unfold, and I know from the background, from various DMs and things, I know where people struggle necessarily. But when you start getting into that mindset where you're thinking through, not, let's say, HTTP or whatever, because that's what is comfortable to you. And so when was it that it clicked and it was no longer difficult? You see what I'm saying? I'm just curious what your workflow was, because I'm looking at this and I am just so freaking giddy. I can't even explain to you how giddy I am over your project. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, I kind of just at first took it slow uh, up top, using really just going and right clicking and going to inspect in Chrome, and then finding exactly what piece of code that is, like we learned in the past couple weeks. And uh, the easiest part actually was finding out how to move like the bird, and which was the little spell book. Actually, I just changed that out with the spell book. And then the Sauron is the little clock that was behind the wizard spinning, and I just kept the same thing and just changed where it was and how fast it was going and how big it was, just a little bit. And that was actually the easiest thing to find, surprisingly. And the hardest thing to find was text, like text centering, to be exact. Um, and then I found the text align stuff, and then looked through that, and uh, I got that figured out. And then probably actually I take that back. The hardest thing was probably trying to figure out how to change the AI exactly. And then I realized it's in the app CSS, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. I could be just, I'm double checking myself right now just to be sure in my PHP. Yeah, app.css. It's in your style folder, and you just edit that. And most of the stuff you're going to be editing is actually in there. If you want to be like messing around with like placement and formatting of like the tiles uh, and the colors. Um, and you can even like change it from like blocks to like spheres and stuff like that. Uh, so yeah, once I got like the hardest part down though, it started clicking, and then getting just exact like pictures that I wanted or something that could flow. I was just testing out a lot of different stuff. Um, but and then in like trying to figure out which tiles I could change out, because like in Lord of the Rings they don't have like a discover your animal spirit type thing. I wanted to theme it to like Lord of the Rings, so it'd be like uh, maybe like a pairing, or like what Lord of the Rings race you are or something like that. If you're like dwarf, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I didn't go as crazy into the AI stuff editing the prompts all the way like Sharon and Kirk did. So shout out them. The power of the collaboration is true there and shined. So I love to see that and hear that. But yeah, I mean, really, this wasn't. This is. It's not. It's not really hard once you just start messing around with changing things and keeping. Just don't get ahead of yourself. Take it like one block at a time. One control F is huge too. To search for like the functions. So if you need to find like, let's say the future reading tile, you just right click, hit inspect, um, and it's going to be in the image folder. It's going to be in the icon dash tarot dash cards dot svg, and you can just control F in your code, look up where that is, and you can start figuring out where stuff is. And so yeah.
Well, I screwed that one up by saying HTTPS, but I meant HTML. I just wanted to fix that for the recording. Sometimes at night, it doesn't make any sense. But that, I was thinking about that afterwards. Cash Money, that going through and just listening to you go through, even saying, "Well, I went to here and then I did this." It's almost like you can see it in your face, in your mind's eye, because you've practiced it so many times. Or if it just didn't work and then you have to go back, and just you repeating that over again,
Wait,
because
Sarah,
go
actually,
ahead.
I got one more thing. This is like actually the biggest key, guys. Um, this is the biggest and the first thing a computer science teacher in college will show you just to try to get you to sign up for the classes. Uh, if when you're inspecting on Chrome, you can just edit stuff right there, and it's not permanent. It just changes it for you in the screen. So that like I was changing where the locations of stuff was. That's what made it easy for me to figure out. Okay, this needs to be, 500% instead of like 100%, and whatnot with the width. And I think that is the biggest part. So you don't break your code. Just do it first, pretty much in the demo section and inspect, and then finalize it. Uh, the changes in the same spot in your app.
That's kind of like a cheat code, actually. Now that I'm marinating on it. But these are the things that you wouldn't normally think of until after you've gone through it. And then once you say it, you're like, oh, obviously. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you start thinking about it in that term. And there's certain things too for people that are not familiar with any of this stuff and it's completely foreign. Um, those little tips and tricks, because we do have a lot of computer science people in here. We have a lot of coders, we have a lot of developers, we have a lot of, but we also have people that, you know, have never had any of this before. And so it's completely new to them. And being able to see everybody at different levels of proficiencies, and then hearing their workflow and their cheats, because all of us have cheats. We all have a secret something that we do to make sure that we don't frack things up, whether it's an organizational on your laptop, on your screen, you're looking at all the little pieces and you're saying, okay, I'm going to make sure I don't ruin this again, or bookmarking constantly the different sites so that you always can come back, or figuring out where your passwords are. I know that sounds interesting too. Sharon, kind of going through the same line, what was the hardest part? Because I do think that what Cash Money said was really, really important. You go faster when you're together. And I think one of the reasons why those afterglows are so important is because it's still fresh. Class is still fresh in your head, and um, you are now surrounded by people that are also noodling over the same problem. And then it's, you hit the ground running and you're off to the races. And that kind of point counterpoint, sparring that goes on while you're building side by side with somebody else. And I'm curious to hear how that went, because I think a lot of people here feel that they have to do it alone, and that's not the case. Or when they see that and they think, I can't do this, the first inkling is to call up Nick, Ross, and Alisher and say, hey, do it for me, as opposed to, wait a second, I have a whole entire classroom of people that are kind of on the same, page that I am. Maybe I can find some help there. What was your biggest challenge and how did you overcome it?
Mm. I don't really know because what we're doing now is just easier than all the coding and Next.js and all of that stuff. So for me, it was more like a relief. But yeah, it's just super inspirational when you work with someone together on a project. I remember back in school, they would put us together in groups and we would only do stupid stuff. We wouldn't really focus on the work. There would be only one at the table that would really want to be focused, and then that person would always get mad because all the other kids would just be doing stupid stuff. But now, as a grown up, I just see the value in coming together as a group, all having the same goal. It inspires, right? And you just get stuff done. That was really awesome. So I was happy that I got together with Kirk and we shared our ideas on how we want the app to look. I mean, everybody did their own thing, but we still had kind of the same goal. So really happy, but I didn't see any challenges because this is way easier than anything else that we have done so far. I mean, the understanding of PHP, okay, it's a gigantic project. We pulled it into something and it's like 2 million tokens, and we're like, what? This is a very big project, but it's still quite easy compared to all the other stuff that we did.
Well, that's really cool. I'm anxious to see how we're going to progress this evening. Ross, now that you've been listening in the background, kind of beaming, I know your face is hurting from smiling.
No,
Because
it's
you love to
honestly,
hear this kind of stuff. I
well,
know
it's
it.
cool to see what people are doing. And if you did your homework and you want us to see it, we don't know unless you leave a comment with your link. Because we can't look for everyone. But if you want us to show it, we could. But we're gonna move on because what we have to do now is gonna be moderately easy, like we've been doing, and then it's gonna get difficult. Like it's gonna be like a little cliff. So we're gonna see if we can get to the cliff part. And a lot of what we're doing is helping you guys understand front end, which every one of you in this room needs. Whether you're a Next.js or PHP, front end is front end. You have to master it because it's what makes whatever you built awesome is how people interact with it. And so if you guys look at the stream and if you have AI Tutor, um, you've seen a similar interface before, but like everything, when code starts one way, it's not like it's been modified on our end to use multi LLMs. Currently, it does not have this capability in the way that you're going to use it. Especially streaming and like Perplexity and even like assistance using OpenAI. That's all been built out by us. The base version that you're going to get is going to be at the end, if we make it, is going to have PHP and databases, but it will not have all the functionality that we have in AI Tutor. But we are going to give you the base version to build something customized. The end result of what we build is going to be the closest you guys will get to building something really cool that will allow you to potentially reskin it, change the inner workings, and use it as a product for someone else or yourself. Many students have launched this product in real life. From college. So they launch it and people pay them. Well, not them, but they pay for the service. One student, he the one I know I remember the most is he sells soap and he created an AI assistant that lives on his website, but he also launched an AI SaaS thing with different creative people you could talk to help you in your creative project. So people that he knew in real life would actually pay students $5.99 a month to access his creative tools, built on the backbone of what you're learning. So if you're looking at the screen right now, it's Cash Money Tez Gandalf, which is awesome. But check this out. This is the same backend. And why front end is important is look at how cool it could look. Imagine these are all your customized avatars that could talk or not. And it's fully custom built. It could be reskinned and used for like your business or for like a custom version of this for someone else's business. It's super interesting. You can already see how we took everything we learned from like the talking animals to now it's like a UX designer, fully capable with different writing styles, tones, and languages. Now, parts of this is a little rough around the edges, the final product, and that's something you have to figure out. Um, Not everything you get that's open source is going to be incredible. Even when you buy things, it's not going to be buttoned up. So this would take work to bring to a product, but this is going to be the beginning of the final piece, which is adding databases. This already has many different features, like download PDF. The best part, guys, is that you can see it looks exactly like we're used to. So the same files, same structure, same folders, same place for the key. So step one, obviously, is building this, right? This version. And then step two would be customizing it, right? So you want to change everything here, everything. We can't move forward unless people actually put in the work. So we either will get to the final piece or we won't. This all has to look different and real. We will actually cover it, but you won't be able to do it unless you commit. So if you can get to customized, then we'll give you the source code for the next step. But you don't need all these people, but it needs to be custom. Like everything needs to change here. And you need to generate some pictures. Or just put a bunch of pictures of yourself. Who cares? The many personalities of Ross. That would be mine.
Ross, I was going to say something too. Ross just encouraged everybody to change those pictures out. If you don't see yourself in those pictures, then make them. That screen that you're seeing is just kind of a placeholder, right? This is your opportunity to build your own world, right? So if you are not seeing the representation that you want or that kind of thing, then this is the universe poking at you saying, hey, you have the opportunity to change something. So I just want to put that out there. We've just brought up Starboss. Go ahead, Starboss. Take it away. Did you have a
Hey,
question? Or did you
yeah,
just want to make sure that you didn't have the delay?
yeah. Well, I'm trying not to get the delay, but I like the the application that you made with the Gandalf. That was a really cool iteration, and the cards that was the aspirational card idea is really a cool idea. And these agencies, like what you're just showing us right now, Ross, on the screen. I don't even know, like the possibilities are endless. I would have, I mean, narrowing down what to use is going to be hard to do in a way. So anyways, thanks for bringing me up. Yeah, I'm excited to see what comes
So
next.
really quick, Star Boss, you don't have to choose any of them, right? You can say, okay, we're gonna take the 15, turn them into 5, and they're gonna represent the different parts of your project that you can talk to, these agents. This has nothing to do with agency. This whole thing can be rebranded to say whatever you want, be about whatever you want, and these agents can have training. And it's gonna be the first time as we progress, we're gonna learn how to do fine tunes and crazy stuff. And Sharon, I know you said it's been easy, but it's about to get difficult.
Can
So
I
don't
ask
worry.
a quick question,
Yeah.
really fast, and then I'll go on mute so you can go ahead and teaching on the teaching. When it comes to training and like a healthcare environment, what it is that like a whole big conversation unto itself? I mean, like, where does like what are the parameters with that, or can you point me to something where I can read about that in particular, like as far as like what is acceptable? Like, for example, in the healthcare environment, they're accepting, like, they use Da Vinci. Is it Da Vinci, like, for surgeries and stuff? So there's an element of acceptance for, like, AI and robot human interface, like, on that level. But I mean, like, how you get 24/7 helplines if you're having a bad day, or that kind of thing. But, like, you get where I'm pointing to, like, how does that interface become um verified, or made in a way where a doctor would find it an acceptable tool to deploy in with a patient?
I would say presentation and transparency. So, as the person building it, if that's what you're doing, it would depend on how you present it and how transparent you are about what you're doing with data and how you're doing it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like, even if you use like this software, there's probably, I mean, the final version, you can actually make HIPAA compliant. There's like options, but you got to build it. Like, when the final version of this in AI Tutor is unlimited tokens and has multimodality. This version that you're going to have does not, but it doesn't mean it couldn't get there. I am giving you the building blocks that we used in AI Tutor in one of our first applications called AI Teams. And the fine-tuned data was so good, people loved it. And they were like, can you turn this into a service where they actually do the thing? And I'm like, agents don't really exist yet, but that's how good it was. So that's how good you can get with fine-tuned data once you understand how to do it.
Star Boss, just to put a like a little seed of an idea. These characters, I'm just saying characters loosely, could actually be pieces of you, let's say, during your healing journey. So one of these characters could be your catatonic person, so that people would interact with who that person was as you're going through your healing journey. So it can also be used as a tool to educate. So for those of you that are educators here in the audience, let's say you have a kid that wants to talk to pterodactyl, that pterodactyl will be the center of that person's universe. If Starboss is trying to explain to somebody who's never had a head injury like she has, you know, a traumatic brain injury that has altered her whole entire personality, how cool would it be to actually create this persona or this character that would be able to, you would draw a card, for instance, from a person who really can't even brush their teeth. I mean, those kinds of things have the ability to really connect in a very human way, which is very interesting for you, your brand, your projects, your ideas. It's a very fascinating way to think about this project outside of what the conventional thought would be. So I just want to put that seed of an idea, because this next step that Ross is leading you down is going to enhance the whole entire ecosystem. But you want to make sure you're writing these things down. There are lots of ways to use this stuff. And don't always think that just what Ross is using is the end all be all. He just told our entire class that this is a repurposed because the time wasn't right. You know what I mean? So I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted to put that bug in your ear while I was thinking about it. Go ahead, Ross.
No, it's just so I the code has dropped in Slack. So if you're in Slack, you can get the code drop with the source code. You can begin deploying directly on your cPanels, and it should look a little something like this. It does, unfortunately. I went a little fast, so I broke the rules a little bit. So where it says HTML version, that's horrifying because there's a space and there's capitals. It's the worst. So you just can write
Boo hiss,
HTML.
boo
Yeah.
hiss.
So you just write HTML5, make life a lot easier. And on refresh, see HTML5, nice and easy. There it is, and deployed. Here's how it looks. And this is the boilerplate for the front end. So there's no back end yet because it's right now JSON. We have to transition JSON to SQL, which is going to be insanely difficult, but we got this. AI Tutor will help you on this part. But basically, we're going to take JSON and bring it into SQL. That's the final part. Right now, you need to get the front end working. And guess what? Part one, this is part one of the final part. So if you do part one, part two will use the elements from part one. So that means like put the work into the characters because they're not just characters. They're going to be agents with live connection to training data. So make sure that you don't need to use all of them, but you need to think about what you're building. So like for Sharon, this could be like different parts of different bots in the hub. They can all coexist together here. So you don't need like one, you can have like 6. One could be customer support, knows everything about what the LLM. One could be like latest release. One could be, and it could anything. And so this will be at the end a production ready application on cPanel that you can actually launch to users with Stripe. So Stripe will be enabled and you can just charge $0 and give your customers coupons if you have an external service. And tokens are tracked. You're going to learn about that too.
Ross, before you begin, Rutro has come up and she has her hand up.
I don't see
Go ahead,
him
Rutro.
ever, but yeah.
I know.
Sure.
Just a quick one. You said training data, like, so the people behind this, they're going to have some kind of knowledge. Are you talking above and beyond like a system prompt or?
So it's going to be a system prompt that's a little structured a bit differently. And the system prompt will be used for flash training in GPT. So you can like train on GPT using OpenAI. It'll cost you about like $1 or $2, but then that's it. And then your model's smaller and faster. And you don't have to manage this. It'll just do it like this code. The next version does it, not this. This is a baby version.
Okay. Yeah, because my mind just started going off and, oh, we could just like, I'm thinking the whole Microsoft, Power Apps, etc. But okay, thank you. That
No,
helps.
but like you're gonna create like it's gonna be all locked to OpenAI, their caching and their system. You could change all this. Like, there's no reason why you couldn't change all this. It's just where we're gonna leave off is the version of where I started when I was building this from AI Tutor. The one in AI Tutor is a lot more advanced. But I've been working on it for like a year. This version is where I started. And it's really good. It's production ready. And I think it's really cool if you build it and repurpose it. And it could do whatever you want. Just remember, you're like one PHP file away from doing whatever you're trying to do. It's PHP.
Okay, thank you.
So did everyone get deployed? Who didn't get deployed?
I didn't even start. I was listening to you.
Okay. Well, what are you waiting for? Christmas? It's coming. So it's fairly easy. Should be upload, unzip, and then you should be able to get to where I am. If you change the weird name, extra fun step for you.
Hey, Ross, I have a question in the back channel. It's saying when installation is asking for a backup, do they want to do that? It says
What?
that I know, I don't understand it. I'm waiting for the DM because I think the person that is asking me this may or may not come up and visit.
Doesn't exist that option. So it's like you upload it there and you extract it. There's no backup.
Well, that's what I was questioning because I didn't want to give the wrong answer because I don't think it should be updating about
No.
whatever. So I'm not really sure exactly.
Well, they can
It
always
could
come
be.
up and they can talk and tell me. Happy to look. Maybe it's a weird cPanel thing.
Well, that's what I'm wondering is that it's probably a cPanel that hasn't been opened in a bit, and then maybe that's why.
So we have to get to the point where this is this new app that you get from Slack. Put it up. I'm gonna wait a few minutes. I'm actually gonna get a drink. But you want to not deploy it or install it, just unzip it. That's it. There's nothing else beyond that. Unzip. And Julie, I am gonna reach out to you tomorrow at 1. because I'm free at 1. I know your problem and it's redirects. So you have to like learn what redirects are. Because once you do redirects, you can't really hit folders the same way. So I'll explain how we can undo that and not have redirects. Because it changes the domains. So that's your problem, nothing crazy. Any questions on how to do this? Because the next part, it's going to be like there's no installation. We got to like plug database credentials directly into PHP. It's going to be crazy. So this should be
Ross, can
easy.
you do something really quick for me, just to make sure, because we've got some folks in the back channel. Can you go back to that screen before when you changed the name of the file, the ugly one that had all the capital letters, please?
Yeah, so
And
I went,
just because I know you did that super
well,
fast, and I'm wondering if
well,
that was
yeah, so all I did was I went to third, 3, whatever you called it. I unzipped it and it said HTML space version. I just renamed it to HTML5. Super. You can name it whatever you want.
all right. I think that's sufficient.
Did,
Um,
if you didn't
I
get,
think
if it
so.
doesn't work, like you guys got to tell me or come join the live stream. Because then the next part definitely won't. Like these will work together. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about and you need help, let us know. That's fun. That's fine too. Cash Money, did it work, dude, for you? If it worked for you, I'm gonna assume it worked.
It did work for me, Ross. I don't I don't know why it would pull up with a pop up because I don't think I've seen something like that yet.
What?
I'm not either. That's
It
why I'm getting
basically
some
meant
kind of hesitant. I'm hoping that they're in
So,
their cPanel.
so you go to your C panel. Let me go to your. What did you do? We'll find you.
It's not me, by the way. I'm on a phone, so I cannot participate in this way. I'm participating by answering a lot of questions in the background.
So
I'm
new
I'm
app.
trying to encourage folks actually to come up, because here's the thing, guys. There are no dumb questions, and this is a safe environment. We joke around with one another, yes, and I know that it can be intimidating, but ultimately we're flying blind when we can't see your screen. And so I don't my biggest fear would be to give you the wrong information that would cause something. So if you're having troubles, come on up, and then if you feel comfortable to share your screen, that would be awesome,
Well,
and then you can see side by side.
I'll tell
But
you
if you
guys.
don't feel, go ahead.
If you're gonna make this mistake, then it's not really a mistake. So don't freak out. Cash Money, you have to just like click HTML. If you go into 3, like you go to your website, I'm doing it on stream. 3 HTML, you're there.
oh
It
yeah,
works.
I'm good. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't have an issue with the like install or anything.
We figured it out. I think it was because the cPanel had not been updated because they hadn't checked in for a while. So it is being okay. We're all good.
Okay.
Continue.
So it works for everyone? Are we good? Because the next part is like super easy. Go plug in your OpenAI key. We did this already 3 times, 2 times. Now it's a third time.
Jane, if you want to come up to, I know that you're working through it. If you want to come up into the speaker panel, just so you don't have the delay, you're more than welcome to, love.
Sharon, you want to hear something fun? So as great as Neon is, right? They can't help you here. You know why? Yeah, let's see how
Why?
smart you
Yeah,
are.
because
Try.
it's
Just like
Postgres,
talk.
no.
I know you don't know the real answer, but like try to work it out. Why won't that work? Why won't this work for Neon, the database that we're gonna do?
I have no idea because it's no consumer based, customer based
Well,
data.
what is Neon? Start there.
Yeah, it's Postgres or not.
Right.
It's S.
Postgres.
Yeah.
See? What is cPanel database?
What is it? PHP or what? I don't know.
SQL.
Is it SQL?
MySQL.
Yeah.
MySQL.
Uh-huh.
Postgres not equal to MySQL.
Oh, that's the only reason? Okay.
serverless not equal to MySQL. That's Postgres. So like Vercel doesn't do SQL, MySQL. It does Postgres. cPanel, what a real server will do MySQL. Other fun fact, the serverless provider that does this, Planet Scale. Sharon, you got your computer?
Yeah.
Google Planet Scale. How much are they a month? It's the most insane thing I've ever seen.
We couldn't use DigitalOcean or so? So say it
What?
again.
Whoa,
What
whoa.
am I looking up?
Planet Scale.
Planet scale.
This is
Okay.
the most famous one for serverless. Look at the pricing per database. MySQL.
Am I gonna fall off of my chair?
I mean, I did. That's why cPanel is the most amazing thing ever. So what you guys can make 30 MySQLs. Wait till you hear the price of one though. It's crazy.
Well, it says, estimated monthly $39.
Is that wild? Per database?
That's cheap, isn't it?
That's cheap. That's how many do you get Postgres, Whitney, on?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's true. I
You could
get
make
10, $5.
you can make 50 MySQL here. That's 50 times 39. Now, how cheap is it?
Okay, no, it's not.
So we have to
So there's only one server, $39.
yeah. And we have to basically integrate our own database into this new app. We have to convert JSON to MySQL. That's going to be the fun part for you. You've never done that before.
Now, when I thought it was gonna be easy, then you come around the corner with that. Okay, great. I'm looking forward to this.
It's going to be fun. So what you need to do is everyone install it. And I want you to find out where to change a picture. Let's see who does it first. Change a picture, a name, and a prompt. And I think I know where it is. I think it's just JSON. But it's employees. And the structure is getting a bit different too, you'll notice. It's getting more streamlined because we're about to plop this in a database.
You wanted us to change put the keys in too, right?
Yeah, and you see, you can get an image, right? And in Canva and resize it. 570 by 580 is the main character. 2600 by 620 something is in the back for the header. There's a logo. But let's see who could change one person.
The images are what? Okay.
Images, training, prompt. Remember, it's all OpenAI. Reminder, all the code is in Slack. If you're not in Slack, you're not going to be able to get source code. This can be run on our provided servers or any server that supports cPanel. Kashmani Kev, did you find stuff to change it?
I did, Ross. I changed my name. I
No.
put my own name in there for the
Nice.
first one, and then I'm changing the image.
It's you don't have to do them all right now. I want to do like a few. And I want you guys to customize the ones you want and delete the ones you don't. You can literally delete them out of JSON. Because the front end is just one file. And I believe it just
Why would you just delete them? Because don't these images talk to some part of the code?
so later it's going to be in the database. But right now, we can just delete the ones we don't want because in the final product, you're only going to have the ones you want. So maybe you don't want 26, maybe you want 6. You know?
Oh, you mean delete? Okay, I understand.
Remember, Now it's getting fun. Now we're using dynamic imports for the first time. So if you go to index.html, like I'm on the stream, there's nothing there. Yay. It pulls directly from the JSON as a database, pretend database. So if you delete in the JSON, it deletes on the front end without you changing any code, actually. It's kind of awesome. Then there's
That does it automatically? Well, that was my question, just,
go back
I
to
don't,
this version. This version is the upgraded code from last version. So we went from like talking animals, it's kind of like starter. We did the tarot card readings, super advanced. And now it's like combining what we learned from both into something a little bit more advanced. And then jump off the cliff. So all we need to do is understand that we can go into the JSON of employees, right? There's like a lot. There's, I think, over 1,000 lines of code or something. Yeah, you can like delete maybe half of them. Maybe you only want 4 people on your app. Maybe you want 20. Maybe you want all of them and you're like, I love this whole thing. I want to make this a SaaS. If that's you, then you need to come up. Like, it can't launch as is. You have to change all the prompts.
well, I mean, if you start off with just a few, you can just always copy and paste if you want to add more, right?
Of course. Dynamic database. Actually, you wouldn't even do this, Sharon, in the future. You would go to the back end, spoiler alert, and add a character. Oh, by the way, quick short story. We're totally going to derail this whole conversation real quick. Um, I want to tell you guys something that's really cool, that I was pricing out database management software because one of the things in AI Tutor that we're building didn't have the ability for me to like oversee all of the users, right? But it worked. But I can't see who's there. So I went online, found 4 companies, had a meeting with 2 of them. Each one of them start at $299, except for one starts at $89. And these are $299 and $89 a month just to see people in a database, right? Like turn them on, delete them, turn them off, etc. I went to AI Tutor, took my database schema, pasted it. I said, hey, make me a Next.js app, like an admin panel, listing all these users, letting me delete it out of the database. It literally did it in 30 minutes after a little trial and error. Now I just saved myself hundreds of dollars a month. So sometimes you don't need to,
That's cool.
yeah, like you don't need to buy whatever tool you're trying to. Sometimes you can just make it. And it's not like the best, most fully featured thing, right? But it does exactly what I need. I go there, I log in with a special password. I could search users, disable or delete them, or reset their password. Those are the features I needed. Those are the features they had to their bill. It was the coolest experience because I was almost putting the credit card in for the $199 because he was giving me a discount, which would make it $99. But still, so quick short story, but you can literally build tools that you need. That is real. I just did it this week. And I can't show it to you, obviously, right? You're just gonna take my word for it. Because it's like proprietary information all over the admin panel. But just know that the tool was really expensive. And that's why I didn't get it sooner. So that being said, change what you want, delete. So if you want 5, delete them. Because when we transition to the next part, all these people, they're coming with you. They will come with you to the next part. You can try it. Delete one. I'll show you. So you don't have to be scared. I was like, I'm so scared. I don't want to delete. So you can go here, right? You can literally delete, let's say, all of this. Let's just say. Psycho. Oh, this is literally taking absolutely forever. Hold on. Okay, we made it. Right here. So if we did that, it would be mad still. Wonder why it's mad. Oh, there we go. So if I did this, right? This is mine. All these people, bye bye. You guys see it? Only one person's there. So you can construct your team. First, that's step one. Construct a team of people that will exist on the final product. Whether it's 1, 2, 5, 10, or 30. But just remember, you can't really use any of the data that you're given. All of the prompts and such have to be altered. So the more, the more agents, the more problems. No, I'm kidding. More agents, more work. That is real. So
But
yeah.
you can't have just one though. That's the point,
I
guys,
mean,
is
you
that,
can, but it's super
it's not
dumb.
fun to
No, it's
just have
dumb.
more
Like, why are you even building software, bro? Just stop. You need
that's
at
right.
least like
Well,
4 or 5. Like, what is this?
well, you just have to think of the basics, folks. When Ross is mentioning, you don't have to have a team of 30, but you definitely need to have 5 good people, right?
Let's
If
see.
you're
We
thinking
can
of a
ask. We can
D&D
ask Nick.
quest or
We'll see
something
what
like
he
that,
says.
you got to have a full quest, okay? You
How
got to
many
have a full
people?
team.
How many people you think should be on the site like this?
I think at 5. I mean, that's one
You
for
think
each
5? What
finger.
do you think, Nick? It's like someone pays to
Yeah.
turn your thing, and how many people should you get initially?
5 is a good number.
You think 5?
It fills it out.
See, I disagree. I think 10 and 5 should be like free, and 5 should be premium.
You're forcing us to take off our shoes to count
This is
our
how I
peoples.
think. I'm just like, have 5 free ones, 5 premium ones. Do you want to talk to these 5? You got to join and pay.
Well, that's like the difference of talking to like a high school graduate. You've got 5 of those. And then if you want the PhD people, then you're going to have to, up your game. You have your entry level that you're willing to talk to, and then, kind of move yourself up. But I think 5 is a good number, Ross.
Well,
I
you
just
want to have enticing people to pay. So if you're gonna have 5, then it's like 2 of them have to be like free, and the other 3 paid.
I just want to say something. If people delete that, they don't delete that last bracket. Just be careful with that.
You tell them, Sharon. What happens when you delete that bracket, Sharon?
Mess up everything. You're going to mess up your whole project. It's not going to be, it's not going to be code anymore. It's going to mess up. So the
It's gonna
last that,
ruin your life. So pay
yeah,
attention to
it is.
brackets
Yeah,
and commas.
I've done it. I've been there and done that. That's why I'm telling you guys.
So get it down to the stack of agents that you want to exist. That's your job right now. And then customize them. Give them a quick little customize. If you do 5 agents, you can give the entire thing to AI Tutor and be like, hey, just do 5 different themes. And he'll do the entire 5 agents one shot. Highly recommend.
If you do it that way, then you need to have 10. No, I'm just kidding. Really think this through, folks. If you, I know I've gotten a number of DMs. I understand. You don't have to finish it all tonight, but just set them up and then go back and reevaluate your people. You can edit. That's okay. But you know, don't not do the project because you don't feel you have all the pieces at this moment. You're just creating placeholders in this moment. If you need to kind of think through and you want to give them, a more robust kind of ecosystem, that's great. You'll have lots of people to work with in the afterglow if you want to do it that way. But you need to have the placeholders. So don't allow the stagnation of not knowing exactly how many people you need. You can add more people, but just create those placeholders and don't let that kind of stagnation happen in your head because you're thinking you don't have all the pieces. You're just creating your placeholder. So I hope that helps.
Can't we just comment them out?
Yes. You're like me, Ruh-roh. You like to play it safe. My code could have anywhere from 100 to 800 lines of commented code because I love to just keep it there just in case. You can totally do that.
I love you, Ruh-roh.
That beats deleting. I mean, because then you can go back and look. I don't know.
I think the same way. But yes, there's lots of suggestions here. But just move forward, folks. Move forward, folks.
Yeah, commenting out's a really good way to add notes, one, and comment out code potentially used in the future.
I'm marking that and snipping it. Ruh-roh, that was awesome.
So how many did you guys choose? 5, 10, 7, 3,
I'm using 4.
4? Okay. So what you want to do is give them names, give them a little training data, and then you can hit save, and then it should work. And then we're going to go over what is new in this project for the first time. For the first time, we are using JavaScript variables instead of words. This is key for 2 reasons. 1, there's a language file, which can handle all the language. 2, if it's not English, there's a way to translate into all languages because the language itself is a variable. So it's not directly in the code. As you see, it says H1. This should say main title, which should say chat right here. Smart solutions for real people. Should say it right here, but it doesn't. Because we're using brackets to handle code and to basically pretend we're reading from databases, which we're going to. This will all be driven by the database soon enough. So who's got it working? Ish. Anyone? A little bit? Just put the key in there. It will work. Once the key's in, you should be able to interact with the employees, even in their current state. Did it work for you, Cash Money, Sharon? It's good. Jane? Anyone? Anyone?
Well, I'm changing the characters now. I already entered the key.
All right, does it work? Did you test it? Go there,
Well,
just be like,
yeah,
hi.
I'll try.
Be like, are you awake, sir?
I think they're awake. I think a lot of people are just
No, not them.
making
The
sure
AI.
they're going.
The
Oh,
AI.
okay. I'm like, no, I think people are working, Ross.
So hopefully your AI is like answering you. It's like alive. That's awake. If it says nothing, that's a key problem.
Michael, did you get it to work? A thumbs up or thumbs down? Not quite sure. Not quite sure. State, how are you doing, friend? A thumbs up, thumbs down. I know some of you are working in the background, and I think Jane is there. I've asked Jane to come up and speak if she needed to. And I think Dan is listening in this evening, and he usually plays catch up on Thursday morning. So not sure what he's up to, but I think we're good. I think we're good. And I think that, okay. So
Really quick
State's doing great.
recap.
Michael just left. Huh?
If anyone just joined, go to Slack, get the zip, put it in number 3, folder 3. This is folder number 3 because in the end, we're going to make either folder number 4, like psychopaths, or we're going to delete everything and just put the final product in. So just remember, this right now we're doing is crucial to the next phase. If you can't get past this phase, you can't get to the next phase. And fun fact, you cannot buy your way in either. The only way to get to the next phase is to complete this phase. When your link shows a completed version of what I'm describing, you're ready to implement databases. Until then, You are not ready. So this week we have to get ready.
You guys need the secret handshake. That's what you're working on right now. You will not be able to get in the secret room without the secret handshake. All right. Um, I don't know. Ross, can you explain why a fourth folder is bad?
Well, messy, you know? Your cPanel
Okay,
is keep your
that's
room clean. It's like your digital room. You don't want to be
got it.
messy. And the more things that you have that are uncontrolled, the more things that are bad, and the more keys floating around that you don't know where they are, right? Delete it all unless you need it. That's my thing.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, now we have that on the recording as well.
But right now, the main focus is customizing this front end because, guys, the next front end, little secret, is the same front end. So if this front end is garbage, your front end going to be garbage. That's why you can't proceed because all your front end becomes dynamic. So you're going to be able to upload, like in the future, logo into putting logo, but it can't work until you have an actual logo to put there first. Because we have to put data in the database first. So you have to customize the front end. So that means, like for Sharon, you gotta make it all black everywhere and customize it so it like fits in your brand. And any of you using this, you have to fit it to your brand. So that when we transition it, all these options will be available, but in GUI. So we're gonna build a panel. So we really need to have this stuff working properly before database integration begins. So that means the front end should have your logo, should have words that you want it to say. This should not be this. These people should be your people. Sharon, you can go make the most amazing people. I've seen you do it in Pixio and put them here. It would look amazing. Oh, and please make a 3D robot head one. That would just be so cool.
Ross, I changed the picture, uh, and I got my name in there, and I got my key, and then I tried to talk to my bot, and I think it could be the Starlink, but it's not answering me back. And I did check my uh, billing and make sure I have like money in there so it can charge me. But could it be my Starlink just losing like connection with the API call or something like that?
It could be, but let's see. So I see all the regular people. You didn't change anything, right?
No, I only changed the first one for right now.
obviously. We'll just say that. And you're like, what do you mean? Well, you didn't do the first thing, which I said I made a mistake. You were just like, let me just ignore that. And you left it with the spaces. So guess what? OpenAI can't find your file because there's
Ah,
a
spaces.
space in the originating folder. I fixed it for you. Your cPanel's chilling right now. Just go to your site, look at the new route. You have to go in there from the beginning now. So click the folders things. I created a new folder. Do whatever you want with it. Just don't have a space. It works.
I'm kind of smiling. Sorry, Cash Money Kev. I'm smiling on your behalf. Spaces, capital letters, brackets. All of them are our nemesis or nemesis, depending on how you want to put it. But I'm sorry, Cash Money Kev, that you were thwarted by a space. Um, I
And it's
think that actually,
invisible. I couldn't even see
see,
it.
that's the hard part, and I actually think this might be the problem for about 2 other
All right,
people in this
I'll be
room
back
tonight.
in a few minutes, but just guys, work on that. Work on changing the folders.
It is so difficult, especially when you're working on small screens, folks. So extend yourself some grace. That the missing space, especially when it's an invisible and you can't see it, or just tired eyes. So definitely extend yourself some grace. There were other seasons where there were tears. I will tell you, I had tears. I think it was season 2 where I could not figure it out if my life depended on it, and it was an invisible space. So, don't be thwarted by it. Just kind of laugh at it. We all have made those mistakes and then move forward. Ash Cash Money Kev is working on that in the background. Um, I do notice that we have a number of folks that are shuffling, and I've heard from the back channels that there may be actually a glitch going on in X in general right now. Um, so Cash Money, it might not be a Starlink issue, but just for, housekeeping, in case something should happen, in case, you know, the space leaves or there's a glitch or any of such thing, and we lose contact, just look for our purple halos. We will fire up a new space, so don't worry about that. I apologize ahead of time. I'm not showing any errors, Cash Money Kev, but we have lost a couple people, and I think it's because they can't either hear, or the audio is kind of wonky, and I'm not experiencing that. So I apologize ahead of time, folks. I'm not hearing what you're hearing, and I'm kind of asking behind the scenes if other people are. So I'm not sure. I'll leave it there. I brought Sharon back up, so I think that'll work. Sharon, Rutro, and Starboss, are you all caught up?
I got kicked out of the space.
See, yeah, this is what I'm thinking is going on. Something is wonky right now. So just we'll figure it out. Keep going, Sharon.
Well, well, I guess I'm gonna be able I just need the front end. I haven't figured out how to delete all of those, people, but I'll figure it out. I'm changing the characters now, and I'll get to that in a moment.
All right. I know that Kevin has Kev's working on his thing.
And
Kev,
Sarah,
did
real
you?
quick,
There you go.
did you see Star Boss's hand? I just want to ask because she had
Nope.
her hand up. Okay, it's a
I
ghost hand
see
for
a
you, but
thumbs up. So go ahead, Starboss.
I just have a quick question and it's very remedial. I was able to like update everything. I was able to remember how to get to um my app folder with folders first, second, and third, right? So I was able to like get back to all that. Am I supposed to put this downloaded file from Slack into that file, the third, or am I, or I do I have to go back a couple of classes and re-listen?
Hey, so I heard the last part of that. No, you just put it in third.
Okay, am I able to just drag and drop that into third, or is
You
there
have to hit
like
upload inside third.
okay, let me try it. Thank you.
Yeah, if you have trouble, let me know. I could look. But basically, we have to get it to work where it answers. If you're and deleting characters, just delete the brackets of characters you want to delete, Sharon. Just don't delete the last thing. Once you delete them in employees, they delete on the front end automatically.
Well, maybe I have to open a private browser because it's still showing all. I'll just refresh.
Oh yeah, you have to open a private browser or clear your cache. Or post your link and we could see it. And if it still doesn't work, join the live stream. Did anyone get it to work? And Cash
Yeah.
Money, you see yours? It works, yours.
Mine works too.
Okay, good. Did anyone not get it to work? Because if you didn't change the name, it probably won't work if there are spaces. So if you still have HTML5 space in the folder name, it probably won't work. Remember to change the name, or the API cannot make the call. Therefore, the answer cannot be sent to your app.
Ross, Starboss has her hand up, and I think I might have figured out the glitch, but I don't know. Go ahead, Starboss.
Okay, this might be a Mac issue, but I'm uploading the file and it's stopping me saying that there's a maximum file size that's allowed for the upload at 4.88
Yeah,
gigabytes.
what browser? Try a different browser.
Chrome. Chrome.
Yeah, just try
Okay.
Safari.
Okay.
Weird, but just try
Wait,
it.
wait, did you just say that? Could you clip that,
I
please?
know, I'll never
Clip
say it
that.
again.
Clip that.
Sorry about that, guys. I was changing out the AirPods real quick. My mic was dying. Hopefully, I see we have people rejoining the room. Hopefully, X wasn't bugging out for everybody too much, and it didn't crash anybody's computers or phones for that matter. Ross, I got mine working, and
That's good.
yeah. Thank you for helping me. I can't believe I missed that.
I know it's super dumb, but when you think about it, it makes total sense. So I hit inspect element and your app was like, I'm sending the call to OpenAI. I'm totally getting a response. But where do I put it? And that is how I knew that there's a space and I was right.
Folks, just for the information of folks that are having a really hard time getting back into space, I know this is not going to help you because I'm talking in the space and I'm recording, but you have to update your apps on X every day that they update it. And the longer that you go without updating it, the harder it's going to be. So there was an update 2 days ago. And so if you are struggling in terms of either hearing, because I know half of you can't hear, or you can't hear us as speakers, or when you're doing the lap and then to coming back in, it's easier just to completely exit the app completely and then restart it again after you've updated it, and you should be okay. I don't think that it was a Starlink issue, Cash Money Kev, I had a heck of a time coming back into the space. So just be persistent, folks. You know what? Technology is designed to humble us. So you're not going to miss anything either. That's the one thing. There's no FOMO here. If you miss something, we can always catch you up, and there's always tomorrow too. So just concentrate on your task at hand. Think about the application that you're building. And then if something goes wonky, you're missing a space, parentheses, or have a capital letter, or a folder labeled 4 that's making everything look ugly and unsatisfactory, just go ahead and fix it. Everything will work out. Hakuna Matata, just chill. It's all good. So, all right. I think Sharon has definitely got hers updated. Starboss is en route. Macs do not play nice sometimes in the sandbox, but it is what it is. Rutro, I think, is all good. Saw a thumbs up from State, and definitely Kirk has figured out the secret sauce from behind the scenes. We did lose Jane, but I have a feeling she'll be back. She was struggling earlier, I think. So, continue, Ross.
Okay, so if you've changed things and there's a little bit more information in config you can check out. We're gonna have things like chat history in the future, the ability to use DALL-E, so your persona can invoke image generation in theory using the config file, which will be exposed to database. So we don't have to do that right now. What's really important is that you change employees and this all works for you. So if that works up to this point, then let me know and get your header graphics in. So you want to put on the front end, you want to change 2 images, right? So there's this big image and this image. You can go into the files to find out where those images are. So we're going to go into image and header assets, and here it is. So you get a PNG here, which I'm assuming is header image, but we can find out. Oh, by the way, Cash Money Kev, I put in Slack a fix for your website before that allows the image to be stretched properly.
I saw that too. Thanks, Ross. That was super clutch. How'd you do that with Canva? Because I tried to resize it and it's still stretched it.
No, because I didn't use Canva. I used code. Look at the code I put. You put the code in app CSS at the line I told you. It will alter the image to contain and fill rather than duplicate and tile. It's just CSS you have to learn. You'll get there. But that's a new tag you can learn. Display background size. Now hero.jpg is the one. See this giant image? It is 2600 by 625. You can head over to Canva, make one that exact size, replace it. Like literally delete that one and upload your own. That's the final things you got to do for this front end. And then we have to make sure it works and make sure things like AI agency have your logo. Oh, and it's the first time our apps are going to have light and dark mode.
What was the size again? 2600 what? Oh, 625 or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 570 by 580, which is the person.
I'm going to snip that just in case. Those dimensions are important.
These 2 dimensions are for your header. These are different. These are going to be, you have to go make them in Pixio or bring them in, and you could put them in the code too. These are going to be the people. But again, this is all going to be managed via database and backend. So we're going to have to build, we're going to build a quick backend.
How did you do the dark code? Did you just change that in code?
No, it's one of the new features introduced at the top. So there's a little nighttime, you see?
Your browser or what?
Just right at the top of the website. The UI.
Oh, cool.
It already comes with it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm telling you, production ready. Next step is production ready. For sure. So everyone got to this point? Because the next like few steps can get a little confusing. Once this works and it's customized, let me know. Because it has to be customized to be put in the database. It can't just be the standard data.
What do you mean by customized?
Like your own prompt, you weirdo.
Oh, that you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
It
the,
has to be all your own. Like if you guys are really building and going production, it has to, you can't use anything pretty much. Anything in the prompt you can't use.
well, I changed the prompt.
Good. And the name.
The name, I didn't, yeah, I changed the name, but I have to change, I got to get the images out. I have to
That's
change the image.
easy. You could do that. You can look where this one image is or 5 images and do it manually for one time. So one time you have to do it.
That's what I'm doing now, manually, yeah.
Yeah, just one time. Employees have pictures. There's a huge folder. All you gotta do is when you're editing, let me go back. JSON. Employees. Each employee should have a reference to an image. Yeah, super easy. Go to employees, upload the image, reference it. Easy. But in the future, this will be, managed in the database. We want to have a welcome message, expert, some training data, and we want to focus on customizing. So right now I only have one, but you want to have what you have, and then we're gonna basically start porting this into the last phase, which is gonna take the next 2 weeks. It's gonna be crazy. There's just a lot. Like you're gonna go from like a fun, cool thing to production ready SaaS app. That's the whole thing in itself. So we're gonna take this and bring it to an app that people could purchase, get credits, monitor credits, and a fully fledged backend and admin panel, complete with user authentication, everything. Super users, token management. But it's like 10 times more complicated, which is fine. We just need to get there.
Russ, I just want to jump in real quick. I see that Jane has returned. I always want to make sure, when you start seeing faces in the crowd week after week, we want to make sure that you're all at the same point. So I just want to tell you, I was thinking about you, friend. And so if you need to come up, Jane, and make sure that we're all on the same page. Just know that I was thinking about you. I'm glad that you're back in the space, because when you disappeared, I was sad. Because I'll tell you what, it's hard. It's hard to get back into the space. So I'm glad to see you there. Julie, Todd, down below too. If you are all straight away to a thumbs up, if you're able to, so that I can see kind of where everybody's at. We'll continue on from there. So go ahead, Ross, and I'll keep an eye on our Pocket family down below.
All right. So Sharon, could you join the live stream for the next part? Because I don't want to make database that's like not real and load it. Yours is gonna actually work. So we'll
Yeah,
do it together and show everyone.
okay.
So ultimately now you have to decide with these test files, do you want to leave them here, right? Build forth, which is complete insanity, but you could do it. I'm gonna do it because I'm crazy. Or you can delete first, second, and third if you're like, I'm not using them. Just don't delete third. So leave third. and then make a folder called final app, or just make a folder called final app. Again, I'm crazy and doing fourth. It's just kind of crazy. One, like, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, it's like redundant and crazy. Not ideal, but good for learning, right? And good for understanding. So when Sharon comes, we're going to look at hers. Sharon, don't show anything like keys, okay?
No, I won't.
All right, here you are. Oh, wait, that's it. You need to put your screen. Also, while Sharon's getting it working, and she'll share in a second. Fun fact, if you have Pixio and you follow Pixio's account, someone shared a video with me and it was probably the scariest AI video I've ever seen. So it's crazy. What you can do with AI video is truly insane.
I can attest it was scary because
It
I
was
looked at it with
actually scary.
little screens and I was like, oh my gosh, FX, holy crow, Batman. Yeah, it's scary. Don't watch it at night.
And by the way, today's source code is not open source and cost real money, dollars. That's why it must be distributed a little bit differently. But you can pay it forward by earning your spot and completing part 1. That's how you can pay for it. But yeah, it's totally not free and it's a real product and it's in partnership with a company that I've been working with for years. They're actually a game company. This is like a fun side thing.
This is so crazy. What what we're getting here, I don't even know what to say. This is awesome. Thanks so much, Ross.
Yeah, you're welcome. And wait till you actually extract it. You're going to see there's like a bazillion files now. It's not just what we saw before. It's totally different, like a whole
Yeah,
different thing.
yeah, I did it already. It's there.
We don't see it yet. How come?
Is that my screen or is that your screen?
Oh, that's my screen. Wow. Can you share?